and introducing and starting this webinar series here of ReMade ARI. Could you please, or can I, could you stop? Ah, yeah, thank you.
Please ask questions in the Q&A box.
Yes, so hello everybody. It is a great pleasure for me to start this series, these seminars here. And of course, the best thing to start is with the presentation of the project itself. And so as a coordinator of the project, it's my pleasure here to start this and to introduce you to the project ideas, and especially how you can profit and you can apply for beamtime at our facilities. So you see here already that HCDR actually has a long history and is committed to do research in different domains in matter, health, and energy. And of course, a big part of that is also related to circular economy, and especially how energy and resources can be utilized in an efficient, safe, and sustainable way. And this is also a big part of the circular economy idea. I borrowed this so-called butterfly figure from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, who are strongly committed to help industry to become circular. And you see that there is quite important point here that we have finite resources, finite materials, raw materials, and also we need to have more renewables materials in order to conserve our planet. And there are different ways to reuse materials once they are in production or in products. There are different ways. First, you can share and reuse the product itself. You can maintain or prolong the use of the product. You can reuse or recycle materials. And also from the renewable materials, you can find ways to actually bring them back to the biosphere so they can regenerate. These are all important ways to come to a circular economy and to be more sustainable in general. And the European in the European Commission, of course, they are also aware of this. And in the European Green Deal, there is a specific action plan for circular economy, recently published, which is a way for a cleaner and more competitive way of doing Europe in general and of economy in general. So it is a long-term strategy for a climate neutral, resource efficient, and competitive economy. And it is a clear commitment to transition to a sustainable economic system. And that is, of course, important that we keep our resource consumption within the planetary boundaries. And this is done by high quality, functional, safe products, which are designed already for reuse, repair, and recycling. And this will reduce the consumption, of course, and the carbon environmental footprint. And the goal is to double the circular material use rate in the coming decade. And this is done, of course, by increasing the recycled content in products. However, it has to be still the performance and safety should be kept. And one way, of course, is, or a very important point here is that we have recyclable products and materials. And it is important to support the development and the characterization of these products and these materials. And in this is where we actually entered here, and we answered the call with our project ReMade ARI, we want to support the development of recycled materials at analytical research infrastructures in Europe. And there was a call there published in 2021. And we submitted a proposal to this call, which was successful. The duration of this, our project is for 4 years, and the funding for this project we got is 13.7 million euros, with additional 1.8 million euros from Switzerland and UK, which are associated to this project. So the materials we address here, materials development, are from very different fields. It's plastic, of course, it is food and nutrition, water, electronics, and communication technology, textiles, packaging, construction and buildings, batteries and vehicles. And of course, what is important is to reduce waste by recycling and reusing materials which still can be used for further production. What are the analytical research infrastructures of Europe? So who are we? Who applied for this project? So we are all facilities which are part of this big network of this ARIE consortium. And these are the different networks for the different probes we are using for characterization of materials. So these is first of all LEAPS, where the photon facilities are the network of the photon facilities. There is LENS with the neutron facilities, Radiate, the ion beam facilities, Inspire for protons, high magnetic field laboratories, which are the EMFLs. And we have electrons, which are in the network of eDream, and Laser Lab, where the laser facilities are grouped together. And all these different networks together form this ARIE. And there are more than 120 analytical research infrastructures, facilities together in this network of networks. And the important thing here is that we cooperate and we talk with each other so that we can support researchers in Europe in a much better complementary way. And this is in principle, different facilities from ARIE were applying for this project. And it started last year in September at HCDR, where we had our kickoff meeting. And we had a lot of preparatory work until now to put everything in function. So what is ReMade ARI? It is a transnational access project. That means that users from Europe or worldwide who want to develop and characterize recyclable materials, they can apply for beamtime at different facilities which are available through this project. So it offers in principle a comprehensive service for characterization. And due to the call, of course, it's focused on the development of new materials for circular economy. So put it in a way, what service do we apply is, it is for you to be able to put your scientific ideas and specific challenges into work and to help you to develop these materials which can be used later on in industry towards the more sustainable economy. So we put together the best existing analytical facilities with all the different networks using very different techniques like diffraction techniques, elemental profiling, microscopy with electrons, with ion beams with neutrons. We can also use ion irradiation, ion implantation, or imaging, magnetic field characterizations, and so on for advanced material characterization. Important is that we want to have a combination of different techniques to give you the best service, so you can get the most information about your material to be so that you can quickly and easily solve your problems and develop faster interesting new materials. So important is that we together, we support you to realize your ideas and to solve your challenges so that we can go towards a circular economy more towards the circular economy in Europe. So who are we now in specifically? What is the consortium? So we are 48 analytical research infrastructures from the formerly presented ARIA network, different synchrotron facilities, neutron sources, lasers, electron microscope, ion beams, and high magnetic fields. And in addition, we have some complementary facilities, for instance, for nuclear magnetic resonance characterization, for surface characterization, and for positron and muon beams, which are provided by other facilities like the ERIC, the Jarowski Institute, or the positron facility at the Elbe, or in München at the FRM2. In addition, we have very experienced research technology transfer organization, the Danish Technological Institute, which will help us for industry, providing beam time for industry. And we have also the University of Bonn as in the consortium. So what do we provide? We will provide free access to our research infrastructures and a lot of assistance support for you to be able to do your experiments, your characterization of the materials. In total, we promised 50,000 hours of transnational access. Like I said, there are more than 50 research infrastructures. There is guidance from the facility experts. We can do materials modification and characterization with very different techniques, complementary. We can provide support for development of recycling processes, for instance, in situ and in operando experiments. Experiment support goes beyond the normal usual service, which you are maybe used from the research infrastructures. I will go in more detail how this is done in this project. And it is open for academic and industry researchers. There is a special tailored access for industry, which I present also later. And we have a lot of outreach and training. Especially important is that as there are so many different techniques here from very different networks with photons, electrons, neutrons, ions, we think it's very important to train the new users who have to use now these complementary techniques. We have to train them to learn also the techniques from these other networks. And we hope that by this we can bring also new users to different facilities, which normally would go just to, let's say, to synchrotrons or just to the ion beam centers. So the support of the users is done in different ways. So one is that we have a smart science cluster. These are 18 junior scientists hired in this project. They are experts in their fields, like you can see in the different techniques listed. They will support you in the proposal preparation if you want. They will support you in performing the experiments, and they will support you in analyzing the data, and hopefully also help you publishing your results. In addition, there is a large pool of experts in our expert network. These are the scientists, the beamline scientists or other scientists working at the facilities, they can be contacted for advice or support to help you also to find the best techniques you want to have to use, or how to apply for beam time, and how to write a good proposal. So, as I said, this is a project especially for access. So this is transnational access, and we have different access pathways in ReMade ARI. This is the traditional one, the ReMade TNA. This is for academia and industry. And we just opened the call in March, and the deadline for the first call is the April 30, end of April. What is new here compared maybe to other TNA projects in the past? It is that it's the obligation to use at least two complementary techniques from the different networks. And so this is important. And you have assistance with experiments and for the proposal preparation by the science cluster. Of course, like in any other transnational access, it is important that you apply for a facility which is in a different country. And for the normal TNA, which is funded publicly by the European Union, it is important to report and to publish the results. And the travel expenses is also funded by ReMade ARI, like in all other TNA projects as well. We have then also a second pathway, which is for small and medium enterprises. We will open a call on 24th of April. And this is done by helping industry by guidance, by specific guidance from the research infrastructures via the contact officers. And it also, beam time is also free of charge, is free, but that depends on also, it can be charged by the research infrastructures if the results are not published. It is a way for rapid experiment characterization. It can be also done by mail-in. And the assistant with experiments and analysis provided by the facilities. And the third one is also a special one, which is special call for industry in collaboration with a knowledge provider or RTO. And we will have two calls for this. One in 2023 and one in 2024. It is, in principle, a small project. It is covered by up to 30,000 euros to fund experimental planning, sample environment development, and analysis. And it is also access, it's free. Can be, but also can be charged to industry. So how is the mode of applying for beam time in the project? So, of course, we have a portal where you can apply. It's so one portal for applying for all the infrastructures. This is also a quite new approach. You will find this portal at on our webpage as well, how to access that. And this is a two-step application possible. First is to submit a so-called pre-proposal. This is just a research idea, and you will get very fast feedback by our young science cluster and the experts. This can help you and guide you how to prepare your full proposal submission. Of course, it is important because you might be familiar with one technique or with specific, let's say, X-ray techniques. But if you have to use now two different techniques, it might be that you are not so familiar with other facilities. So here you will get help which techniques would be best suited, which is complementary, and how to combine these two techniques. It is also possible to just submit a full proposal, and you can select actually the research infrastructures. And of course, it is important that you choose two techniques, and the facilities, they can be chosen, but it can be also said that the facility can be chosen by us, by the experts. There is also the possibility that you go to a beam time to the facilities, but mail-in and remote access is also available for almost all experiments or characterization methods. The proposal will, of course, be then reviewed and ranked by our external proposal review panel. And the accepted proposals will then be granted beam time at the different facilities, and the travel expenses are covered. As I said before, that we have these science cluster, and these scientists will help you during the experiments if needed. So although this pre-proposal is optional, we highly recommend it because it really can give you feedback and help how to prepare a good proposal. And especially if you are not sure about the techniques, it is, of course, very good to ask for help from the experts from the different fields, and they will discuss your idea beforehand and then come up with the best suited complementary techniques for you. So in this way, it is this is the best way to actually prepare a good proposal, which then will be accepted. So we have a single submission portal for the proposals, which is based on this on ARIA. This is also a former EU project which developed this portal. And you will see that you can choose the services in principle, and they are bundled under these different techniques. So you will find the different techniques here: electron microscopy, focused ion beams, and so on. And if you open up one of these techniques, you will see the different facilities. As I mentioned before, if you know where you want to go because you are familiar with that facility or you had former contact with them and so on, then you can choose already the, let's say here, an I-beam center. If not, you can choose that we assign a facility for you when after your proposal was accepted. So these two access modes, you can find them also in the portal. So this pre-proposal submission is quite short. So you can write a short abstract and a title, and then submit it, and then discuss with the science cluster this idea, and they will help you in preparing the full proposal. And the full proposal is a bit more detailed, and you will have to supply different informations, and also to prepare, there's a template available on the web pages where you have to prepare the proposal as a PDF and upload it in the portal. You can find a lot of information on our web page. For instance, if you want to have a look beforehand at the catalog of tools and techniques available, which are a lot, you can have a look at this first version of our list of these techniques. This will be work in progress. because there are so many techniques available that we will have to continuously improve this list and this catalog. But you can already have a look there of the different methods you can apply for. For instance, here it's listed one of the techniques, which is X-ray small or wide angle scattering. When you see the different infrastructures and the name of the instruments, and also a link where you can get more details about this instrument. So, as I said before, we have also tailored access for industry. So one was these rapid test experiments for small and medium enterprises. And this is also support including data analysis. And we have the industry access with support by RTOs or knowledge providers, which is, so this is inspired by a Swedish Vinnova grant scheme. And so there is funding available for this where small projects can be realized in this way. So this is a combination between industry and these RTOs. You can all discuss all these project ideas with the industry contact offices at the research infrastructures and with the Danish Technological Institute. They are our partners here. And so this is a contact address, the email address where you can contact also directly this industry pathway. So just to show you that there are different industry contact offices here is a list, but if you can remember just the email below, and then it will be forwarded specifically to your requirements. So I just got from Gary Edmonds these slides where it is nicely compared the different access pathways. So this is the normal transnational access. Then the remade for small and medium enterprises, and then these remade specific projects for industry projects. So there are differences. So we have 2 calls for remade TNA, 2 calls per year. First call started already. Then we have this fast track access for SMEs, which is continuous applications, just short projects. And then we have these longer projects for industry, where we have in total 2 calls for the whole project. And just a summary of all these access tracks here, what is covered and what support is available, and whether from the facilities or from the expert network or the smart science clusters. This is just an overview of what I said before. So a lot of information and more you can get from our homepage. This is already available, remade-project.eu. You will find a lot there, access to the proposal submission portal, the catalog of tools and techniques, user guide, template for the submission proposal, and so on and so forth. So just have a look there. You will find a lot of information. So what is where are we at the moment? So as I said, we had the kickoff of the project in September. The expert network was established. We published the names of the website in November. We set up the ARIA portal for the proposal submission. in time so that we can open the first call on 1st of March. The Smart Science Cluster is established. So we hired already 12 postdocs. I think a couple of positions are still open. So there is the possibility to still apply for these positions. We had a kickoff meeting there in February. We established a proposal review panel. So we are ready to send the proposals to reviewing. We already received a few pre-proposals, and hopefully we will get a lot of really nice and cool proposals before the deadline of our first call. We also have a Circular Economy Advisory Board. They will advise us about how the project evolves and whether it is relevant for circular economy in general. The members are nominated, and we will have shortly a kickoff where we'll present our project also in detail to this board. And of course, we are looking forward and going to the direction that we want to provide transnational access to the users and do interesting and nice experiments and characterization. So to just give you some ideas maybe and inspire you about what proposals you can prepare, what to submit, what projects can be done. Just a few examples. So here is an example which was done with X-rays at the synchrotron. And it is for enhancing agrochemicals. And it was used, the synchrotron was used to characterize the copper content in different formulations. And it was important here that these chemicals to register them as a product under the European Chemical Agency. So this is one example which is going in the agriculture direction. So this here is for, of course, very important batteries with our now decided stop of or going more and more for electrical cars. We have to develop better batteries with longer lifetime and also recycle batteries. So here is an example which was done at the KIT together with Daisy. And it was shown that using single crystalline lithium and manganese-rich layered oxides, it is possible to stabilize batteries. And of course, this means that you can use more charge-discharge cycles, so keep them longer before they had to be replaced. This was possible by using X-ray diffraction and also in combination with electron microscopy to show what the crystal structure is and how to achieve it. Also here is an example how to use, this was done in ESRF, how to use synchrotrons to determine the structure of enzyme which can be used to degrade plastic, which is very important, of course, because in this case, in this way, the plastic can be used, so is not a waste anymore, but can be changed in a form that it is integrated back to the biosphere. And this would be, of course, a very good way to get rid of all the plastic waste, which is a big problem. Also, how to recycle asbestos is a way was here a process was developed by using microscopic electron microscopy techniques or XRF, and to develop a thermal processes where this waste can be changed to a new material like a manganese-rich silicate clinker. And this can be used then further for raw materials for other things, which is very interesting because we all know that asbestos is a very bad and stupid material, and to have this waste to keep it somewhere is not a good thing. And last and third, or a different example, is that one can use also, for instance, old rubber tires and other waste plastic in steel manufacturing processes. And this is also interesting to also get rid of these waste of plastic and tires. And this was also used, so electron microscopy has been used here to show that this process can be used to develop some new steels and coatings. And so this is the idea that we have all different techniques here, electron microscopy, for instance, or X-ray techniques, and so on. And these are all available now for your ideas how to develop new materials. And I hope so that I inspired you to bring up your own ideas, to develop your own projects, to submit proposals. And we are looking very much forward to getting your proposals, helping you, supporting you, doing the experiments. Thank you for your attention. And we are really waiting for your questions. And as I said, we are happy to help you.
Thank you, Stefan. There's one question already, and the audience are welcome to type in more into the question and answer box. The first question is from Maria Spadero. She says, thank you for the webinar. I have one doubt. The next call deadline, the end of April, is it for full proposal submission or pre-proposal submission?
It is for the full proposal submission. So the pre-proposal submission, actually, it is in principle rolling. That means that ideas or pre-proposals can be submitted anytime. However, you have to consider that in order to develop or to then prepare your full proposal, you need some time. The feedback will not be so fast. So a couple of days or weeks will be needed to prepare a full proposal. So it is better to submit as fast as possible now the pre-proposal to enter this first call. Afterwards, of course, you can still submit the pre-proposals, but they will enter then the second call, which will be then in, well, I think in the fall, in September or so, will be opened again.
Okay, well, there are no more questions. So can I announce the next presentation? And before that, to tell the audience that we would very much like them to give us feedback. There's a survey that I've put into the chat for those participating via Zoom. For those via YouTube, it'll be in the description. So please give us feedback on this, the first of the webinars, and also in future months, tell us what you think, because it could help us develop the webinar program differently for the following years. And our next presentation is Jakob Dernak from the ISRAF. He's going to be presenting on the 21st of April, 2 o'clock, same, on X-ray diffraction used for operando or in situ studies of batteries and fuel cells. So please make a note in your diaries, and to look for future events, look at the ReMade project site, the events list. Thank you very much for attending. Have a good Friday afternoon. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me also.